Well, it's Carabao Cup quarter-final action here between Arsenal and Crystal Palace as Chelsea await in the semi-finals for either one of these London clubs. It's a big game, it's a massive occasion at the Emirates Stadium, and we're all but set for the start of kickoff here. Chelsea await in the semi-finals for... And we're off and running. Well, fantastic settings here, as expected, at the Emirates Stadium, knowing that it's a big game. Implications are heavy. Teams looking to get their hands on silverware. This is the first opportunity for either club to get to that spot. Chelsea await for either one of these clubs in that two-legged affair, which is not going to be easy, make no mistake about it. To get to... Well, Arsenal making 8 changes with Mikel Arteta trusting his squad here in a big game such as this one, with Oliver Glasner forced to go with his team running on fumes this season with European commitments and in the league. To their credit, they've done very well to be in that 5th and 6th spot, with Arsenal very much on top. But 2 points behind Manchester City and 3 ahead of Aston Villa, which means that Arsenal now looking to compete on all fronts in the early stages of the campaign here. Here's Noni Madueke on the right-hand side. Decent cross in with his weaker right foot. Asking a lot of questions there by Martinelli, who does very well to keep that in play. Good start here from Arsenal. Despite the many changes, still going into their familiar rhythm, with Riccardo Calafiori playing as the left-sided centre-back with William Saliba on the right-hand side. Miles Lewis-Kelly as the left-back with Jurriën Timber on the right. Kepa is in goal. Norgard, Merino and Eberechi Eze as the 3 in midfield, with Noni Madueke, Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli in the 3-prong attack. As for Crystal Palace, Walter Benitez in goal. Dean Henderson will have to hold bench for this one. Back 3 with Chris Ridgers, Maxence Lacroix and Marc Guéhi, of course. The familiar back 3 with Mitchell as the left-sided wing-back and JD on the right-hand side. Wharton, Lerma, Nketiah, Mateta. Plenty of options, even for Crystal Palace. Going forward, they have to make sure that they frustrate Arsenal for as long as possible. Here's Adam Wharton. Good composure shown. Mitchell feeds it onto the left-hand side to Yeremy Pino. Well, Yeremy Pino is one of Crystal Palace's most exciting players that they have in the forward areas. The way that he's replaced Ebre Eze as that left-hand side number 10 has been phenomenal. Still has a long way to go in terms of matching the levels that Eze achieved, but he's very much on that as Martinelli finds a brilliant pass to Noni Madueke. It's straight at the keeper. Massive opportunity there for the former Chelsea player. He was set through on goal with a very crisp pass here. Has to do better. Martinelli with an inch perfect ball right into the path of Noni Madueke. Either side of Benitez, and it's probably 1-0, but it's straight at the goalkeeper. Excellent start this from Arsenal. Here's Christian Norgard. His first big start for the London club. Here's Nketiah against his former side. Lovely move this from Crystal Palace. Sweeps it onto the left-hand side. Can Tyrick Mitchell get the head of Timber? He can't. Timber does very well, but I think that might have gone out for a corner. Just a throw in. Well, Oliver Glasner will be looking at this game as further headache and extra workload for his players, knowing that their squad has been stretched thin. Jean-Philippe Mateta is playing on fumes. I think he was carrying a bit of an injury as well heading into this game, so we'll see how he performs against the likes of Saliba and Riccardo Calafiori. Throw in here by Jefferson Lerma, one by Mikel Merino. Gabriel Jesus might have been fouled there. It's clearly by Yeremy Pino, and it's a free kick for Arsenal. Well, Newcastle United versus Manchester City on the other side of the bracket, with Chelsea having gotten the business done against Cardiff City at Wales. 3-1 victors on the night, with Alejandro Garnacho scoring a brace. and will face a London side in that double header in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. It may not be a prestigious trophy, but the path to getting to the final or even winning it really is intense and difficult. Here's Lewis Kelly. Eberiche Eze scored the winner when these two sides met in the Premier League. It was a lovely, I won't say half volley, it fell to him nicely after the corner. Dropped down right in the center of the box and he hammered that home. Arsenal in the last two games, against Everton away and then at home against Wolves, they got the job done and fair play to them. 6 points after not really playing anywhere near your best football is pretty much what champions try and do. But their performances have to get better, with Manchester City breathing down their necks. And then we've heard news that Antoine Semenyo might be moving to the Citizens in the January transfer window, with Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester United pretty much removing themselves from the race. If Manchester City get someone like Semenyo with Doku, Cherki, Foden and of course Erling Haaland, it's another dimension for Pep Guardiola's men. Well, that's how the Premier League is. You cannot be standing still at any point. You know that you have difficult games such as the Carabao Cup quarterfinals. Chelsea took about 45 minutes to get going against Cardiff. It was a difficult game, tried to calm the crowd down. Did well in the second half, but had to make a few changes as Calafiori plays a lovely pass. Benitez is quickly off his line and smothers the ball. Have a look as to how Benitez is in goal. They've been more used with Dean Henderson protecting the back three. Here's JD Canvo, 19-year-old Frenchman. Lovely play this from Crystal Palace. Oh, Mateta with a beautiful outside of the boot pass. Crystal Palace have opened Arsenal apart here. It's Mitchell. He's blazed it over. What a shame. What a waste. But a brilliant Crystal Palace counter-attack here. Jean-Philippe Mateta takes a touch. Calafiori is nowhere near him. Opens it up with a Trivela pass. Could have slipped in Eddie Nketiah, instead decided to go for goal himself. Selfish option there from the left wing back, who got behind Arsenal far too easily. Warning sign fired at the Arteta gang early on. Tyreek Mitchell might have slid the pass to Eddie Nketiah, but went for goal himself. Huge warning sign there for Arsenal. Don't think they needed one, but they have received. That is excellent from Jean-Philippe Mateta. He knows that he won't get much joy against William Saliba. Try and pick the spot of Calafiori instead as Mikel Merino. He's got the captain's armband today. Has got the trust of Mikel Arteta, former Real Sociedad player. He's done most of his excellent work as centre forward, so he's back in his quote-unquote favoured position in midfield. See how he plays in the absence of the likes of Declan Rice and of course Martin Zubimendi. Here's William Saliba, Calafiori, Miles Lewis Kelly. Here's Kepa now, decides to go long, easily won by Mark Guéhi. It's a risky pass there by Mikel Merino, but it's well dealt with by Eberiche Eze. Lewis Kelly fizzes it to Gabriel Martinelli. Played that lovely through pass to Noni Madueke early on. Here's Christian Norgard. A £10 million acquisition from Brentford in the summer. The absence of Jorginho, who went back to Brazil. And this is the first big start that Christian Norgard has had. Has played a few games sparsely, but getting ahead of Declan Rice in the team is it's no joke. So when you do get your opportunities, it's very important to try and leave an impression on the manager. Here's Calafiori. And Arsenal playing at a very patient pace here. Not looking to force it, knowing that Crystal Palace on the counter-attack, when there is a turnover up the pitch, can be very, very dangerous. And that chance from Tyreek Mitchell was that early warning sign. Here's Martinelli, very clever pass, but into the channel, well defended by Maxence Lacroix. Here's Eddie Nketiah. It's a risky pass. Richards gets there first. Mateta tries to make himself a nuisance, and he gets the ball and he turns and now looks to run. Brilliant from Mateta. Well, Calafiori went lunging in, and Miles Lewis-Kelly on the cover does the job. Here's Timber. Can Crystal Palace, when they turn the ball over, do look quite dangerous. That's why you see Arsenal trying to be as cautious as possible when they do have the ball. Here's Eberechi Eze. William Saliba onto the right hand side. And Arsenal exercising a whole lot of patience. They needed 2 own goals against Wolverhampton Wanderers in their previous victory at this very stadium. Here's Martinelli, Norgard, Miles Lewis-Kelly. Again, the forward players feeling quite isolated in the early stages. They need a bit more zip in their passing. Here's Calafiori, is capable of doing so. Saliba being put under pressure by Yeremy Pino. Plays the 1-2 with Norgard. Here's Saliba, channel pass. Well defended, very well defended by the skipper. Mark Gay rather on the cover. Arsenal with relentless possession so far. They know that they can dominate possession for long periods of the game. That's for sure. Here's Eberechi Eze. Tried the reverse pass. Well defended by Chris Richards. Adam Wharton. Mitchell on the left hand side. Again, Crystal Palace committing bodies forward. Here's the Colombian Jefferson Lerma. Good possession here for Crystal Palace. Need to try and bait the Arsenal press. Try and play around them when the Gunners do apply the high press, which they are. Mitchell. Needless pass there, just into the channel attempt for Jean-Philippe Mateta to chase. Here's Mikel Merino. Shields the ball nicely. Madueke scored that brace in the Champions League against Club Brugge. First one was an absolute firecracker of a finish. The second was a tap-in from close range, but first goal was really special and some way to really make your mark. Madueke has got 3 goals in the Champions League, but none in the league. There's Eze again from a tight corner. Does very well to shield the ball. Arsenal have done well in these phases where they've kept the ball under duress, but in terms of progressing the ball forward, they've had a bit of difficulties there. And that's where the midfield, like the likes of Mikel Merino and Christian Norgard, need to take a bit more responsibility. Here's Martinelli on the left-hand side. Tries to go around the outside. Brilliant ball in. Well defended. Doesn't look like he might have prevented the corner. Yeah, Jefferson Lerma had to make sure that his positioning was spot on. JD Canvo got absolutely roasted there by Gabriel Martinelli on the outside. Put on the afterburners. Very important that the Frenchman, yes, he's going to show Martinelli the line instead of cutting in, but can't leave that kind of gap because once Martinelli goes, very difficult to try and catch up with him. Corner for Arsenal. Again, still without Gabriel Magalhaes, the biggest corner threat since he's been out of injury. Arsenal have struggled with set-piece goals. Here's Eberechi Eze though. Ball into the box. Oh, it's not cleared away. They make a real mess of it, and Gabriel Martinelli snatches at the attempt. Fell to him very kindly, but the technique on that was pretty poor as that ball was closer to the corner flag rather than goal. I think the clearance there by Maxence Lacroix might have taken the handball of Lerma, but it fell very kindly to Gabriel Martinelli. They're going to have a look whether or not it could have been a handball here. Now, they can't be giving that as a handball, that's for sure. His head's down, he's just trying to jockey for position rather than put his arm out for clay impeding. But yep, decent chance there for Martinelli. Nearly turned provider once, and I want to say nearly scored, but that shot was closer to the corner flag than it was to the goal. Here's William Saliba. Oliver Glasner will be reasonably pleased with the scoreline so far. You know that they'll have to do long periods of the game where they're not going to sniff the ball. Their out of shape possession has to be absolutely spot on here. Force Arsenal into taking a few more risks. Here's Christian Norgard, who's played it safe so far. Yet to see Miles Lewis-Kelly drive into midfield. For the first time he's done that, but again it's horizontal movement. It's onto the left hand side. Norgard finds Martinelli. He's up against Canvo. Martinelli. Miles Lewis-Kelly. He's been crowded out there but keeps possession nicely. Calafiori. William Saliba. Again Crystal Palace shuffling from side to side very effectively. Forcing Arsenal all the way back. Here's Christian Norgard. Calafiori now driving forward with the ball. Arsenal looking to apply the pressure on Benitez in goal, and Calafiori loses out. Excellent work there by Richards, who just puts himself ahead of the ball. Very well to protect the ball against the Italian. It's been a frustrating start for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. No real time to panic, but just their ineffectiveness in front of goal has just been highlighted over the last few weeks. From Palace's point of view, more of the same. Have to make sure that the clean sheet is kept as close to half-time as possible. That would be objective number one from Oliver Glasner's pre-match team talk. Here's Calafiori. Finds Saliba. Timber with a clip pass for Noni Madueke. He's trying to wrestle Mitchell out the way, but Mitchell does very well defensively. Concedes a throw in, but again defensively he's not really afraid of the pace of Noni Madueke. Again another attacker who will take the line if offered. Again, not really as effective on his weaker right foot. We've seen him thrash crosses across the face of goal. Not particularly, I would say, directed crosses. Someone just put into a danger area and hope for the best rather than finding someone with pinpoint accuracy, as Christian Norgard looks for the throw in here. Decent ball in. Calafiori's flick on header, cleared away by Yeremy Pino. Here's Lewis-Kelly. Onto the left hand side to Gabriel Jesus. Eze finds Jesus. Beautiful football. Eze has just slipped it in nicely to Gabriel Jesus, but the defending once again by Crystal Palace, excellent. See that connection building between Eze and Gabriel Jesus on that left hand side. We know that Jesus also likes to peel down that left flank to try and affect the play in the build up, open the space for the central areas for the likes of Mikel Merino. Here's Madueke. Silky play there from Noni Madueke, but might have been a foul in the lead up to it. It's Yeremy Pino who's taken probably a forearm to the face. Oliver Glasner is convinced that it was an elbow rather than a forearm. So one for the number 10. Let's have a look here by Noni Madueke, just trying to bulldoze his way past Yeremy Pino. Does catch him with the elbow, but again, it's almost like looking to try and protect the ball, but he's just lent with that elbow. It is a very sore one for Yeremy Pino to take. You can see why he was not happy with it. Madueke will argue that he's just trying to protect the ball, but it's a bit of an elbow thrown. He's a bit fortunate if he doesn't pick up the yellow card for it. And Crystal Palace on the ball have not really put anything together. Just that one counter-attack so far. Start with Jean-Philippe Mateta just switching the play beautifully with the outside of his right boot. Getting Tyreek Mitchell in a lot of space down that left-hand side. The left wing back decided to go for goal instead of just trying to slip Eddie Nketiah in for a shot. But it's the only chance that Crystal Palace have had so far, but it's been the only chance of the match, period. Arsenal, with all the possession, have not really made any sort of inroads and efforts at Benitez in goal. Here's Lewis Kelly with the throw. Richards heads it away. Lewis Kelly with a good first touch. Adam Wharton picks the ball up. Mateta nearly broke there for Yeremy Pino. You can see how the Crystal Palace attackers are just trying to play as close to Mateta as possible. Just try and link off him. Use him as almost a wall or a board where you can just bounce balls off him. Try and get up the pitch together. It's a good tactic, and that's why they need someone like Eddie Nketiah as well. Just get closer to Philippe Mateta. Oh my word, Timber has lost the ball here. Pino, Mateta, heavy first touch. Excellent by William Saliba on the stretch. A Rolls Royce like tackle. Magnificent stuff. Arsenal on the break here. Here's Eberiche Eze. Looks for the switch. Noni Madueke is giving it chase, but it's too much on it. Wasted opportunity there for Arsenal, and it's a throw in for Crystal Palace. But once again, Jean-Philippe Mateta getting into a position where he would like to shoot maybe a bit earlier, but William Saliba on the cover. A fantastic defender, very difficult to get around. Again, encouraging signs here for Crystal Palace. 20 minutes on the clock. They haven't been overawed by the situation. They are the FA Cup holders. They beat Manchester City, beat Liverpool in the Community Shield. Good bit of silverware for Crystal Palace and Oliver Glasner. Decent ball in. Madueke, what a save! Brilliant by Benitez. Well, it looked like certainly Noni Madueke was going to find the back of the net. He steals in front after the ball fortuitously fell to him by the looks of it. Let's have a look here. It just played into an area. Decent first touch. It's a magnificent save. Martinelli once again has found Madueke on 2 occasions. Mitchell was trying to tug Madueke by the jersey. That could have been construed as a pen, but that is advantage for Madueke to try and flick that over the goalkeeper, and it's a huge let-off there for Crystal Palace. On a couple of occasions, they have looked a tad bit open at the back, but once again, it's Gabriel Martinelli who's doing all the creation. First one was a lovely slide rule through pass. This one just a clip pass in the air, right into the path of his opposing winger. Couple of warning shots fired at the Crystal Palace goal now. Benitez on both occasions. Staying solid, but expect him to make those kind of saves straight at him. Nearly halfway through the first half. So duties in the league and now in the Carabao Cup, back to league action. Games are coming thick and fast. Chelsea, of course, got Aston Villa at the weekend. The heavyweight clash between 3rd and 4th. Really need to win there because you see Aston Villa just opening up a gap against Chelsea. Was at 7 points, the gap between 3rd and 4th. Eze turns away from Adam Wharton. Here's Eberiche Eze, finds Gabriel Jesus on the left-hand side. Chris Richards is there defending. Jesus, decent ball in, headed away by Mark Geehee. Oh, there's a chance there for Gabriel Martinelli, but Richards defends well. J.D. Canvo. And looks to show the line to Gabriel Jesus, who's not looking to take it though. Here's Calafiori. Finds Urian Timber. Noni Madueke down the right-hand side. Keeps possession nicely. Again, familiar patterns here for Mikel Arteta's men. There's Gabriel Martinelli. Again, Arsenal being very patient. This is most risk-free football that Arsenal are playing here at home. Make sure that Crystal Palace have very little to feed off of. Lovely pass there by Calafiori to Eberiche Eze. Jesus. Here's Lewis Kelly. Finds Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side. Up against Canvo. Decent ball in. Header. Oh, what a save! Benitez. That is outrageous. He has no right to keep that out. That was destined for the back of the net. Best opportunity Arsenal have created here. Brilliant ball into the box. The header's right into the corner. Benitez. Magnificent save. That should have been 1-0. Arsenal now looking to turn it on here. Gabriel Martinelli, brilliant pace, fizzes that across the face of goal. Jeremy Pino's there defensively. Mateta tries to get away from it. No response here for Crystal Palace. They can't get out. It's been all Arsenal now. I want to say that was Mikel Merino's header because it was perfectly placed right into the corner. Here's Norgard. Finds Martinelli. The Brazilian has been a live wire really, and has been tried to find there by Lewis Kelly. Well read by Chris Richards. Palace looking for a quick counter-attack courtesy of Philippe Mateta, but Calafiori defends well. The Arsenal fans will be slightly edgy on their seats, knowing that they have created some good opportunities. But the ball hasn't found the back of the net here, and the longer that goes along, more confidence for Crystal Palace. Here's Saliba. Finds Madueke. It's had two of the three chances that Arsenal have created. Two of them have fallen to the ex-Chelsea player. Here's Calafiori. Finds Saliba. Urian Timber holding the width on the right hand side. Now drives infield. Jesus. Good defending there by Mark Gehi. Eddie Nketiah struggling to protect the ball. Very strong play there by Urian Timber of all people. Right back finding himself at left. Zaid looking to just clip that over. Lacroix does well. Adam Wharton can't keep the ball from Merino. Surely a foul. No. Referee waves play on. Strange decision, but Arsenal continue here. Here's Eberechi Eze. Christian Norgard. Decent attempt pass there. Easily intercepted. Richards should be able to clear, and he does. Get Nketiah. Doesn't do anything there, Nketiah, in terms of jumping or making it uncomfortable for Miles Lewis-Kelly. Here's Martinelli down the left-hand side again. Clip pass. Beautiful ball in. And nobody running on towards the far stick there. Madueke has made the central run. Well, Gabriel Martinelli has got JD Canmo on toast here. He cannot cope. It's a brilliant ball in. Perfectly weighted. Someone like Victor Gyökeres would be just desperate for delivery like that. The previous attempt was from Gabriel Jesus, but it's all about Martinelli's delivery. The chances keep being created here for Arsenal. Crystal Palace under the pump. Arsenal can sense a goal coming here before half-time. Gabriel Jesus, that brilliant header into the corner. An outrageous save here as that corner for Arsenal. Decent ball in. Cleared away. Chance. Calafiori. It's a left-footed blast well over the crossbar. Crystal Palace survive again. Well, it's luck rather than judgment in terms of the defending. Just falls kindly, and well, with Calafiori's technique and his ability to strike the ball, you expect him to get that on target. But he just snatches at it. Chances being created here by Arsenal, and plentiful. Should be 1-0 up, but as long as this carries on, more confidence for Crystal Palace. It's a brilliant save there by Benitez from the Jesus header. It's a perfect header, really. It's right into the corner. Benitez has no right. It's a double save as well because it's Madueke at the far stick looking to just poke that home. Incredible. Mark Gehi being put under pressure. Captain does well in terms of securing the ball. Here's Jefferson Lerma. Being put under relentless pressure there by Mikel Merino. Colombian will get the free kick. The Crystal Palace defense and goalkeeper somehow have kept the clean sheet at the Emirates Stadium so far into the 30th minute. Mikel Arteta will know that his team have done very well in terms of performances. Limited Crystal Palace to very little on the counter-attack. Kepa Arrizabalaga has had nothing to do in goal, really. And of course, the prize for the winner of this clash is a two-legged affair against Chelsea in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. First leg is at Stamford Bridge, if I'm not mistaken, and the second leg will be either in East London or North London. Who would I prefer? I would love a two-legged clash against Arsenal. I mean, we are destined to play some big games this season. Hoping some in the Champions League as well, maybe in the quarterfinals, but a Carabao Cup semi-finals, a two-legged affair should be a very spicy affair. Low Moises Caicedo in the first leg, he picked up a needless yellow card for clapping at the referee. Really poor way to get booked and not play a crucial first-legged tie in the semi-finals, but Chelsea will have to find a way without Moy, regardless of it is Arsenal or Crystal Palace. There's the trio of Arsenal defenders, centre-backs who are missing from action. Piero Hincapié, Gabriel Magalhaes and Christian Mosquera. Jefferson Lermas should be okay to continue. What's up, Manny? Are you already hungry? Spicy butter chicken. Would be nice. Free kick for Crystal Palace. It's Jeremy Pino looking to take this one in. Fizzes that with no real direction there. It's a waste. Absolute waste there by Jeremy Pino. The attempts have been few and far in between for Palace, so they have to take advantage when the opportunity does arise. Here's Urian Timber, finds William Saliba. From Crystal Palace's point of view, another 15 minutes to half time. They can get there at 0-0. It's job half done. Here's Calafiori. Finds Miles Lewis-Kelly. And defensively, they've been very solid. Not felt the absence of some of the starting players, but back four is very good. Here's Timber, marauding run there by the right back, but he can't keep that in play. It's a throw in for Crystal Palace. Again, they'll need a bit more from Adam Wharton, Jeremy Pino and Eddie Nketiah just to try and stitch a few attacks. Just keep the ball in the opposition box. Again, every time the ball has fallen to Wharton, it's been a very hectic touch, and Arsenal win the ball back again. Risky there. Mateta finds Eddie Nketiah on the right hand side. He's got JD on the right hand side. It's a very poor decision there by Eddie Nketiah. I know he's trying to hit that across, but he's hit that in a manner where he's just trying to go for goal. It's a needless foul by Jefferson Lerma. It's a free kick for Arsenal, but once again a half chance for Crystal Palace. Maybe a bit generous to call it a half chance, but Eddie Nketiah getting into a decent position but not doing much with the ball. "12 minutes plus added on time remaining in the first half. And this final quarter-final clash of the 25-26 Carabao Cup season here. It's the first opportunity for any team to get their hands on silverware. The final in end of February, early March. And Nketiah shields the ball nicely. Here's JD Canvo. He loses out quite comfortably. He's not had a good game here, the young French right wing back. Here's Jesus. Ooh, it's a loose pass there. Jeremy Pino could have got there first. What a challenge by Christian Norgard on the slide. Brilliant. Here's Urian Timber. Mikel Merino. Slide rule pass to Eberechi Eze. It's a lovely move here from Arsenal. Jesus can't get his shot away, and it's a crunching challenge by Chris Richards. He throws himself into harm's way there. Gabriel Jesus might have caught an ugly challenge here, but it's a lovely pass by Mikel Merino. This move there by Eberechi Eze is so good. The first touch is lovely. It's a lovely slide pass to Gabriel Jesus, who rides one challenge. Chris Richards gets there quickly and recovers very well. Palace somehow keeping that clean sheet intact here. Throw in for Arsenal. Oh, it's headed in towards the danger area. Headed away from danger. Can take two here for Arsenal to get the throw in. Once again into the danger area, into the 35th minute. Christian Norgard has had a good first half. Has shown both facets of his game in terms of his tough tackling, which we saw on Jeremy Pino moments before, and some of his quick, sharp passing. Oh my word, it's another dangerous throw in that Palace somehow get away. Norgard, Marino, Timber, clip ball into the box. Richards' header. Richards has had a fantastic game in defence. The way that he sensed danger, getting himself into excellent position defensively. And concedes the corner. Could have been a whole lot worse for Crystal Palace. And all hands on deck here for the away side. Arsenal have been putting them under relentless pressure. There's no way out here. Bodies on the line for Palace if they are to get that half-time clean sheet. Eze delivers the ball. It's got a lot of whip on it. Keeper stays at home. Palace should be able to clear, and they do. Miles Lewis Kelly and Urian Timber. Very clever there. Jefferson Lerma knows that he can't really get out of the way there. Miles Lewis Kelly knew that he was in an awkward position, just needed to feel a bit of contact before hitting the ground. They see that, yeah, it's a bit cynical there by Jefferson Lerma. Not the worst position to be giving a free kick from, but Arsenal are dangerous when balls are flung into the box, especially the way that they attack set pieces. Eberiche Eze up against his former side has looked like a live wire presence on that left hand side. Eze delivers, but he decides to keep it short here. Saliba back to Eze onto the right hand side. A lot of space here for Eze. Feeds it onto the right hand side for Noni Madueke. Ball into the box. Again, it's a right footed ball, asking so much out of Gabriel Jesus. He's not going to get the corner from it. It's a decent chance created by Noni Madueke, but again, are you expecting Gabriel Jesus to score from there? Asking a lot from the Brazilian. Decent ball again. It's Jean-Philippe Mateta who probably got the last touch on it. The Frenchman in the perfect position to defend that. Centre forward making sure that Crystal Palace keep the door shut here. Benitez has played a massive role in keeping it at 0-0. Best save that you'll see of the game so far after that Gabriel Jesus header. Attacking wise, Kepa's had nothing to do. It's been very comfortable for the Spanish number 2. Here's Marguerite. Finds Maxence Lacroix. Pass there by the Frenchman. Finds his fellow Frenchman in Conway. Richards. Decent possession here for Crystal Palace. Haven't said that too often in this first half. In its possession that Arsenal players won't mind whatsoever. Right back to Benitez in goal. Forced to go long. Arsenal secure the ball again. Wharton wins the second ball. Jeremy Pino loses out in the air. And Arsenal winning their duels here. Crystal Palace cannot cope. Brilliant by Miles Lewis Kelly. Somehow keeps the ball. Great strength. He loses out on that occasion. Surely a foul there. Lewis Kelly plays it quickly. He had every right to do so, and I think the referee might have just missed a trick here. Miles Lewis Kelly, excellent down that left hand side. Shows great strength, ability to keep the ball under pressure, then win the foul. And the free kick here for Arsenal. Eberiche Eze has been on set piece duty, trying to affect the game as much as possible, getting those crucial touches. I've looked to play it short on a couple of occasions. Crystal Palace have got Jeremy Pino with a bit of medical assistance required. Again, they played short here. Here's Eberiche Eze once again getting the ball back. Calafiori on the left foot. Gabriel Martinelli on his right foot. Brilliant ball in. It's a magnificent clearance. Somehow Crystal Palace have kept things alive here. Here's Martinelli down the left hand side again. Lewis Kelly, ball into the box. Madueke thought about the shot. Madueke, it's a brilliant save. Benitez is having an absolute cracker in goal here. Madueke could have hit that first time, does the right thing, brings that under control before unleashing a powerful drive at the keeper here. It's on target, straight at the keeper, but hit with real force. Yep, there's absolutely no time to react here. Mikel Arteta cannot believe his team are still 0-0 here. 5 minutes plus stoppage time remain in the first half. Another corner here for Arsenal. They are beating down the door here. Madueke delivers. Excellent header there by Lacroix. Palace under the pump here. They can't get out. Ball into the box again. Lacroix heads. Here's Martinelli. Again, the back post cross. Perfect. Nearly into the perfect position. Wharton clears. My word, it just feels like a matter of time before Arsenal score. Not able to cope with Martinelli. The amount of weapons that the Brazilian has bought from the right-hand side has been written. What a ball that was. Wicked cross. Well played by Walter Benitez again. He's having a cracker of a game in goal. Second choice keeper. Saliba, brilliant control there. Like a winger. Saliba finds Gabriel Martinelli. Shimmy, shake on the left-hand side. Chops on his right foot. Cross comes into the box. On the volley to Timber. Takes a deflection. And it takes the pace off as Benitez gladly falls on the ball. Okay, you can see the number of bodies that Arsenal are committing in every attack. All their players looking to get shots away here. But the ball will not fall behind the goal line. Well, Mikel Arteta will be telling his players to absolutely not panic and just keep doing what they're doing here. They've played an excellent first half. Here's Martinelli, one of the chief players. He's left JD Canvo on the floor again. Martinelli, oh, the header's well over the crossbar. It's Yuri and Timber again, but Gabriel Martinelli down that left-hand side is torching the poor young right wing back, man. He is dying out there. He cannot cope. He's left on his ass and just, it's a mess out there. That's something that Oliver Glasner will have to remedy. It's Yuri and Timber who gets to the end of the cross. It's a decent ball in. Just needed that header to be on target. Martinelli's created so many chances that you just forget the number of balls that he's put into the box. JD Canvo, spare a thought for the young Frenchman. He's getting torched, absolutely barbecued out there. You need some help. You need someone like Nketiah to help out. Maybe even Chris Richards to just tuck in. The 2 minutes plus stoppage time remain in the first half. Somehow this game is still 0-0. Good defending there by Tyrick Mitchell. Surely a foul there by Mikel Merino. Yep, the Spaniard fouls the Colombian. Mikel Merino with the captain's armband would have seen his team put on an excellent first half performance. Only the goal missing in this quarterfinal clash. Oliver Glasner knows that his team, a bit of luck, a bit of judgment, a bit of good defending, kept this game at 0-0 somehow. But again, just feels like a matter of time before Arsenal get their act together and get that first goal. Well, a win here for either team be the perfect entry towards Christmas. Last game before Christmas, the Boxing Day fixtures, that tradition has been broken, unfortunately. You see all 10 teams play on Boxing Day. That never happens again. Minute plus stoppage time remaining. Palace nearly there. Kind of rooting for the David in the story. Just make sure that Goliath doesn't eat you up, because Arsenal have been all over Crystal Palace. You can see Nathaniel Klein, the experienced wing back, right back mostly, but he's warming up. I think Oliver Glasner knows that he cannot leave JD Canvo out there and keep getting slaughtered. Throw in for Palace. Lerma into the box. Allows it to bounce, and Kepa with an easy claim and a quick release. And now Arsenal on the counter-attack. Onto the right-hand side. Here's Urian Timber. Immediately looks for Noni Madueke. Here's Noni Madueke into the box. Madueke outside. Cross comes in. Martinelli, decent control. Palace have enough bodies forward. Lewis Kelly drives that. Well defended. But Crystal Palace have thwarted all of the Arsenal attacks so far. Once again, maybe not the best decision taken. As we're into stoppage time here in the first half. 2 minutes of added on time signaled by the fourth official. Crystal Palace somehow hanging on to the clean sheet here. Merino finds Ricardo Calafiori. Lewis Kelly. You can see the fullbacks now starting to have a few more attempts. Lewis Kelly on that occasion. We've seen Timber have a few. Here's Martinelli again. Great skills on display. Norgard. William Saliba. Urian Timber. Noni Madueke. Everybody getting a touch here. Madueke tries to do a bit too much there, but somehow keeps the ball. Good defending though by Tyreek Mitchell. Yes, Ricardo Calafiori. Palace well into their deep block here. Making sure that they're as compact as possible. Forcing Arsenal to use the width. Here's Saliba. 5 minutes of added on time here. Arsenal looking for one more opportunity before half time. Lewis Kelly finds the player of the first half, Gabriel Martinelli. Much better defending there by JD Canwa. Finally, the wingback gets one good action right before the half-time whistle. We'll give him a bit of confidence, but I'm not sure that he might make it out for the start of the second half. Gabriel Martinelli feeling the full effects of that JD Canwa challenge. Might have lifted a little extra there on the Brazilian. Just giving him a very tough first half. On the ball cleanly. Might have just been a knee-on-knee collision here. Let's have a look. Just try to push and run here with the bit of skill. Yep, he wins the ball first, and it is a knee-on-knee collision that Canwa can't really do much about. Leaves his leg out. It's a strong bit of play there by the Frenchman. It's a sore one to Martinelli to take, and just before the half-time whistle, still not gotten up here. Maybe not a good sign here for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. They've had quite a few of these injury concerns now starting to creep up, mostly with the defense. A few of the attackers. You see Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus now slowly getting their fitness back. Havertz hasn't featured all of the season. Last thing they'll want is a Gabriel Martinelli injury. Looking at all the chances that Arsenal have created, Martinelli has been responsible for 3 or 4 chances that should have been put towards the back of the net, but somehow combination of good defending, excellent goalkeeping, and a lot of willpower has kept that ball away. Let's look whether or not Martinelli is back on his feet here. Doesn't look good here for Martinelli, who is struggling. You can see him in a bit of pain. Those collisions can do a lot of damage. And if any sort of twist is involved on it, not just the contact, could be a whole lot worse. But Martinelli finally back on his feet, looking to see whether or not he can put any sort of weight on that ankle or that knee. He is limping. It doesn't look good, but he's got about 15 minutes of half-time break to assess whether or not he can continue in the second half. Doesn't look good here for the Brazilian. Throw in for Arsenal. Might be the final action of the first half. A first half which has fully belonged to Arsenal. Just the goal missing for the table toppers. Here's Norgard's ball into the box. It's cleared away by Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's had to do so much defensive work. It's a terrible pass there by Calafiori. Now Crystal Palace, can they muster up an attack? No, they can't. Amani, it's been all Arsenal, man. Crystal Palace have been non-existent. Few half chances for them, but it's been all Arsenal in the first half as the referee signals the end of the first half. Arsenal have somehow not scored, having dominated the game in terms of possession and chances created. Noni Madueke has had a couple of excellent chances. Gabriel Jesus' header was brilliantly saved by Walter Benitez. The defence and the goalkeeper have somehow kept Crystal Palace alive in this first half. It's 0-0 at the Emirates Stadium. Just about a few minutes away from the start of the second half. 0-0 the scoreline at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal have created all the opportunities, all the chances have fallen to the home side. They haven't been able to put the ball in the back of the net. Crystal Palace defence and, of course, the goalkeeper Walter Benitez, a massive part as to why the scoreline remained at 0-0. Brilliant decision by Oliver Glasner to give his second choice keeper a run out here, and he's put in quite the shift. Arsenal have played some very good football. It's got to be said, this is their pretty much backup B-side in terms of their forward players. Gabriel Jesus, Noni Madueke and Gabriel Martinelli all have had quite the impact on the game. Gabriel has been floating around. Mikel Merino has been a strong presence in midfield, linking the midfield to the attack. Christian Norgard has made sure that he's kept in a good performance in terms of shielding the back four. Back four have been largely untroubled. Kepa Arrizabalaga with nothing really to do in the first half. That needs to change from an Oliver Glasner perspective, that's for sure. It should be interesting. See how Arsenal may tweak their approach. Getting a lot of joy down that left-hand side. Wait and see whether or not JD Canvo keeps his spot as right wing back. We saw Nathaniel Klein warming up profusely in the first half. Maybe Oliver Glasner decides to go with a bit more experience, considering how Gabriel Martinelli gave the young Frenchman an absolute torrid time in that first half. Need to see a bit more of the Palace midfield though. I mean, a bit disappointed with the way that Adam Wharton and Jefferson Lerma have not been able to keep the ball. The Arsenal makeshift midfield and Declan Rice not play part of this game. I don't see him coming on at any point of the game, with Mikel Arteta needing to keep his talisman fresh. If he can give him a couple of weeks in terms of no midweek action, the best kind of rest, because in the Premier League, in the Champions League, he's been out there relentlessly, 90 minutes, week in, week out. The two managers have taken their spot on the benches. Oliver Glasner would have laid into his team at the halftime break, knowing that a much improved performance is needed in the second 45 minutes. No extra time. We'll go straight into pens if the game remains as is. Well, Devaney is coming on, which means that Nathaniel Klein will remain on the bench. No surprises that Oliver Glasner decided to make the change here, and Devaney takes his spot here in the changed lineup here. Proactive there from Oliver Glasner, knowing that that first half cannot continue. Klein is also on the pitch. I think both wing backs have been replaced here. Fresh legs on the wings for Oliver Glasner. Wait and confirm as to who they have replaced. Don't imagine Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal side making any changes in the first half. It's been nearly perfect from them. Just the goal missing for the home side. And we're off and running for the start of the second half. Semi-final spot up for grabs for either one of these teams, with Chelsea await the winner in this London derby here. Chelsea getting the job done against Cardiff City. Of course, Arsenal having a trickier assignment. Crystal Palace never know when they're beat. Still a good performance considering their lack of investment in the summer, with European commitments this season has really stretched their squad thin. Here's William Saliba, barely put a foot wrong in that first half. See Jean-Philippe Mateta having absolutely no joy against his fellow Frenchman. As you can see, there's Eddie Nketiah and JD Canvo both coming off for Devaney and Nathaniel Klein. Yep, Eddie Nketiah had a pretty much non-existent first half against his former side. Not able to make the impact Marino gives the ball away. Noni Madueke does very well against Yeremy Pino. Here's Miles Lewis Skelly. Finds Eberiche Eze, gets away from Adam Wharton. Good strength there. Surely a foul there by the Englishman. Yep, Adam Wharton with the clear foul on his fellow countryman Eberiche Eze. Free kick opportunity for Arsenal early in the second half. Critical from Crystal Palace's point of view. They don't give anything silly away. In terms of set pieces, opportunities which can be easily prevented, will be critical, as Oliver Glasner will know that his team are very much up against it. A free kick for the home side. Another opportunity to maybe float this into the box, but they'll keep it short. There's no such commitment in the box. Here's Martinelli. We'll have a different opponent now with Nathaniel Klein on that right hand side. So Eddie Nketiah will take that right hand spots too. So you can see Devaney and of course Nathaniel Klein both coming onto that right hand side to just freshen things up. There's Mark Gahey. Under a bit of pressure, finds Walter Benitez, who's been one of the star players for Crystal Palace and one of the main reasons as to why this has remained at 0-0. Yeremy Pino loses out to Urian Timber. Good header there by Maxence Lacroix. Norgard's header. Mark Gahey. Back to Norgard. Norgard's just winning these aerial duels. So Arsenal have done very well in terms of winning the ground and aerial duels. Here's Lewis Kelly trying to create a bit of separation, but Devaney picks the ball up. Here's the substitute. Finds Nathaniel Klein. Opportunity for a cross into the box. Decent header, is not on target. Much better there from Crystal Palace, and it's the two substitutes down the right hand side who do allow the ball to be put into the box here. This Jefferson Lerma's header did well to get up there, but difficult to try and get that on target. Now the Colombian, not known for his aerial prowesses, still did very well to get up there. Better from Crystal Palace. Oliver Glasner will be slightly more encouraged after the start of the second half. It was all hands on deck in the first 45 minutes. Here's Adam Wharton. Needs to dictate the play a lot more. Does very well to find Lerma. Mateta. Again, trying to just increase the tempo. Here's Nathaniel Klein. Again, better from Crystal Palace. Devaney finds Chris Richards to Maxence Lacroix. Better possession here for Crystal Palace. Here's Jefferson Lerma down the left hand side. Finds Mark Gahey. Adam Wharton. Good first touch. Again, does very well to escape the pressure. Here's the skipper, Mark Gahey. Yeremy Pino. Clever reverse pass, but beautifully done there. But Jean-Philippe Mateta's won the header, and he looks to just flick that over. Here's Mateta on the left hand side, trying to play a bit of bully ball. Clever pass onto the left hand side. Brilliant from William Saliba. Does it so calmly there. Madueke wins it to Christian Norgard. Chris Richards is on there, but Martinelli does brilliantly but loses out. Better this from Crystal Palace. They really are competing in the middle of the park. Lovely 1-2 here. Pino onto the left hand side, and Urian Timber wins the foot race. Here's Noni Madueke. Again, caught in a cul-de-sac here. He loses out. Here's Yeremy Pino. Cross comes into the box. Headed away by Calafiori. Jefferson Lerma can't bring that under control. Goes for the shot. Doesn't take a deflection. It's a goal kick for Arsenal, but so much better from Crystal Palace here in the second half. 5 minutes into the second 45. Crystal Palace have come out a much more aggressive team. They're winning the second balls. A lot more pressure in the midfield areas. Arsenal starting to turn the ball over a lot more. So Noni Madueke under pressure just cushioned that touch to Yeremy Pino. Changes of work so far. You can see Mikel Arteta very much animated on the touchline. Will not be happy with what he's seen in the first 5 minutes here. Last thing Arsenal can do is go back into their shell and play conservative football. They have to do what they did in the first half that worked so well. Give the ball to Gabriel Martinelli, but JD Convo not there in the team anymore. Nathaniel Klein will add much more of a calming presence at right wing back, that's for sure. Calafiori does well. Onto the left hand side. Again, it's patient here from Arsenal. Norgard finds Eberiche Eze. Norgard again. And very good structure here from Crystal Palace off the ball. Making sure that Arsenal are forced to play long, which Kepa does. Brilliant pass there by Kepa to Noni Madueke. The control was good, but Marguerite's defending was even better. Jefferson Lerma, channel pass for Mateta to chase, and Calafiori does well to get there, absorbs the contact. Should have been a foul. Jean-Philippe Mateta just leaning into the Italian, but doesn't seem like the foul has been given. It's a throw-in for Crystal Palace. Ricardo Calafiori not getting the rub of the green. I think that might be a corner, you know. Yes, it is. Great pressure there by Jean-Philippe Mateta, making something out of absolutely nothing, allowing the Crystal Palace centre-halves now to waltz into the Arsenal box for the first time here. Opportunity with the corner. Jeremy Pino look to deliver this. Delivers it very flat there. Hits the side netting. Well, Kepa was slightly bothered. Shuffling across nervously, knowing that the ball might have just snuck into that far post. Jeremy Pino not happy with his delivery, though. He would have liked a bit more elevation. Here's Urian Timber. Finds Mikel Merino. Sweeps it to Eze. Nice cushion pass to Ricardo Calafiori. Better from Arsenal. And every time that they go forward, forced to go backwards here. This is perfect for Oliver Glasner's men. Much better shape in the second half. Timber under pressure. No way out for him. Noni Madueke finds Urian Timber, but nowhere to go for the Dutchman. Throw in for Crystal Palace. Mikel Arteta is slightly concerned here in the second half. Things are not going according to plan. Crystal Palace clawing their way back into this contest. Best part about that 45 minutes for them was, in spite of poorly they played, they kept it at 0-0. Once you do that, you always have a chance in the second half. Madueke finds Jesus. He's been dropped off the ball. Beautiful pass there by Adam Wharton. Surely a foul there by Norgard. No, the referee has given against Crystal Palace. That is very curious decision to try and understand there. Christian Norgard clearly getting a grab of Jeremy Pino there. Not in the eyes of the referee by the looks of it. It's a free kick for Arsenal. Brilliant there by Lewis Kelly, looking to just thread the pass. So here's Adam Wharton surveying his options, decides to keep it short for his captain. Here's Mark Gahey. Finds Richards. That's a poor pass there by Nathaniel Klein. Finds Eberiche Eze. Takes his time before finding his pass. Again, it's backwards there from Eze. You want Eze to take a lot more initiative. Merino, clever pass to Gabriel Jesus. He's been chopped down there. Not a foul again, according to the referee. He's letting a lot of these fouls go. Gabriel Jesus getting a sore one on his knee, but not a foul according to the referee. Again, Crystal Palace can play on here, but they do the quote-unquote gentlemanly thing and kick the ball out of play. Looked like a foul there by Maxence Lacroix on Gabriel Jesus. Heavy first touch. It's a clear foul. Referee letting a couple of fouls slide. Palace will have the ball though. Here's Benitez. He's had a comfortable second half so far. Much contrast to his first half where he was need to pull out some big saves. Here's Wharton. Oh, they've lost the ball. Wharton, thankfully from Palace's point of view, wins the ball back in midfield. And the last thing that Crystal Palace can do here is to turn the ball over in dangerous areas. Here's William Saliba. In 10 minutes into the second half, Arsenal have started much slower than they have in the first know that the Arsenal physicality and their capacity to dominate games late on. Defensively, can relatively untroubled here. Lovely from Saliba. Noni Madueke loses out but finds Gabriel Jesus. Eze pulls out of the challenge. In Crystal Palace, trying to win a lot more of the tackles. Critical that they turn those dual statistics in their favour, as Arsenal are looking to make a sub here. There's one of their clutch performers this season, Leandro Trossard, looking to come on here, and it'll be surprising to see if Martinelli is the one who's coming off, because he was one of the live wires in the Arsenal first half. Saliba, the brilliant pass to Jesus. Here's Madueke down the right hand side. Here's Noni Madueke. Again, it's a ball into the box to Eberiche Eze. Brilliant cross. What a bit of block that was from Nathaniel Klein. Jean-Philippe Mateta does brilliantly there to hold off the challengers. Somehow keep the ball. Klein does magnificently well. Driving forward. Here's Jean-Philippe Mateta. Finds Mark Gahey. A lot more confident here. We've never seen Mark Gahey make this forward run once in the first half. Here's Jefferson Lerma. The Arsenal players camped outside their box. Mark Gahey surveying options. Good work this from Arsenal. Out of possession. Palace have to be intricate here to try and open up a chance. Here's Maxence Lacroix. Lets that go to his skipper. For the first time, really, we're seeing Crystal Palace sustained period of possession is brilliant here for Adam Wharton. It's just wide. Right-footed effort, dragged wide. And that's the first opportunity Crystal Palace have created here. Wharton to Mateta. Mateta does brilliantly. Wharton on his weaker right foot just pulls it wide. Kepa at full stretch, happy to see that ball screw wide. And that's the warning sign. That's the warning shot fired by the away side. It's taken a good part of an hour, but it finally arrives. Checking at that handball there by Nathaniel Klein on the Eberiche Eze effort. It did strike his arm, but it was really close to him, as Leandro Trossard has come on here. And he has replaced Gabriel Martinelli. It's a strange decision considering how well Martinelli played in that first half, and he's visibly upset with that decision. Whether or not it is game management here from Mikel Arteta, knowing that Martinelli should only be playing 60 minutes with weekend assignment possibly penciled in for him. With Crystal Palace now growing into the game, Arsenal have to be wary here. Mikel Merino gets eased off the ball. Here's Adam Wharton, who's been a lot more influential in the second half. Here's Tyreek Mitchell now on the left hand side. Good pass there to Pino. Here's Wharton. Switches it on to the right hand side. Nathaniel Klein tries to find Devaney, but calmly done. Kepa clears. Again, Gabriel Jesus has had very little joy in the second half so far. Here's Mark Gahey. Wharton, brilliant pass to Jeremy Pino. Palace are popping it around with a lot more confidence now. Pino onto the right hand side to Nathaniel Klein. Does well the Englishman. Cross comes into the box, headed away by Christian Norgard. Mark Gahey does well to win the loose ball. Here's Mitchell. Jeremy Pino. Gahey again, right-footed ball into the box. Decent header, cleared away by Calafiori. Jesus helps her out, and look at this. Now it's Crystal Palace who've got the home side under the pump. Applauded by Oliver Glasner. Whatever he said at halftime has clearly worked. His double substitution down the right-hand side has clearly made a huge difference. That is what top coaches do. They influence the game, especially when they have that halftime team talk. Substitutions, all critical ways to leave your imprint on the match. Arsenal now being put under pressure. Throw in for the away side. Lerma throws. Flat delivery there, and Kepa has to get there. Well, that was destined for the back of the net. An arrow-like throw there by Jefferson Lerma. It is flat. Nobody gets a head on it. And it nearly caught Kepa Out of balance there. He was backpedaling. Here's Arsenal on the attack though. It's Madueke. He's been quadruple teamed here. It's brilliant from Crystal Palace. The way that they just zoned into Noni Madueke is clearly one of the dangerous attackers in that first half. It's been completely nullified in the second. We haven't seen anything from Jesus or Noni Madueke. Throw-in for Arsenal. Both teams are using throw-ins to their advantage. Christian Norgard chucks that one in. It's headed away by Saliba. Look at Devaney. He's just buzzing around, making it difficult. But Arsenal play around the press brilliantly. Here's Saliba. Drives in towards the box. Norgard delivers. Decent cross comes in. Well defended by Crystal Palace. And Richards clears. Calafiori with a curious touch, but he finds Eberiche Eze. Arsenal looking to turn it up now onto the left-hand side. Here's Leandro Trossard. His first involvement since coming on. Calafiori. Crystal Palace will be feeling a whole lot more confident now, considering how the first 15 minutes has gone here. Here's Madueke. He's isolated Tyreek Mitchell. Madueke goes around the outside. It's a brilliant bit of play. Well defended. Mark Gay shows great composure. So do Crystal Palace. It's brilliant play, and Jean-Philippe Mateta gets the foul. Brilliant. You can see Adam Wharton being a lot more influential, fizzing those passes to his centre forward. The defence has really stepped up. This is a completely different second half from Crystal Palace. Fair play to Oliver Glasner's men, who absorbed all the pressure in the first half and now have completely nullified this game here. It's there to be won. Steve Parish, the CEO for Crystal Palace, in attendance. Surely a foul there on Jefferson Lerma. Takes the pressure off Crystal Palace once again. But for all the good work that Mikel Arteta has done with Arsenal, the silverware, the trophies, has eluded the club. They haven't won the League Cup. Oh, what have you done there, Chris Richards? He's given the ball away. No pressure whatsoever. And brilliant from Nathaniel Klein. Well, Klein's substitution has completely changed the game for Crystal Palace. They're no longer shaky on that right-hand side. Klein using all his experience. Played for Crystal Palace, then went to Liverpool, Southampton, if I'm not mistaken, and then back to Crystal Palace. Might have gotten the order wrong, but well-travelled player. Lovely there by the former Crystal Palace player in Eberiche Eze. Trossard finds Miles Lewis-Skelly, drives forward with the ball onto the left-hand side. Trossard crosses the ball into the box. Madueke is there. Gets an effort. Might have taken a deflection. It has come off an Arsenal player by the looks of it. It's a goal kick, and it's disappointment for Noni Madueke as yet another Arsenal attack ends without a shot on target. Well, Palace have Arsenal's number here. In the second half, they have completely nullified the home side. Mikel Arteta, after would have been very pleased with that first half, now looking to bring on some of his big guns for the second half. Bukayo Saka is being ready. So is Martin Odegaard, the captain and vice captain, both being stripped and ready for action here. Arteta knows that the game does have jeopardy now, and it's time to try and kill that as quickly as possible. Here's Madueke, put under pressure again. Brilliant there by Adam Wharton. Clever. Oh, Jefferson Lerma gives the ball away. Here's Leandro Trossard. And Palace in midfield might be looking for fresh legs there. Jefferson Lerma and Adam Wharton have put in a lot of mileage. Adam Wharton has to stay on the pitch, that's for sure. Here's Lewis-Skelly. Finds Eberiche Eze. Trossard being put under pressure there by Devaney, and it's a foul. It's a needless foul by the substitute. Just leaves a forearm on the back of Trossard's head. It's a foul free kick, and that gives Mikel Arteta the opportunity to bring on his double substitution, his number 7 and his number 8, Saka and Odegaard coming on here. I think it'll be like for like changes with Madueke and Eze coming off. Yep, Eberiche Eze with much of his influential game against his former side did score the winner at this very ground in their Premier League corresponding fixture, but not having the impact in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. He comes off in the 67th minute as Martin Odegaard will get the captain's armband, and I expect Noni Madueke to come off as well. Yep, Madueke hands the captain's armband to Odegaard and makes way for Bukayo Saka on that right-hand side. It's getting serious now for Arsenal. The comfiness of the first half, a long-drawn memory here as Saka and Odegaard will be looking to get the goal. Arteta just nervously pacing down the touchline. He knows that his team should have been a couple goals ahead in the first half, but having not taken their chances, means that the game is in real jeopardy now. It's a free kick, and Martin Odegaard's first involvement since coming on will be to whip this ball into the box. Odegaard delivers. It's a poor ball in, cleared away. Trossard spins into trouble. Saliba finds Odegaard again. It's Trossard on the left-hand side. Odegaard, Trossard, all in that triangle down that left-hand side. Calafiori plays the 1-2 with Leandro Trossard. Opportunity with the cutback, decides to fire it towards goal. Last touch coming off Jean-Philippe Mateta. It's a corner for Arsenal. Well, better play then, and it took Ricardo Calafiori from centre half to make that run forward to play the pass onto the left-hand side for Leandro Trossard, but it's good defending there by Mitchell. It's another corner for Arsenal. A nervy 20 minutes coming on here for the home side. A double header against Chelsea in the semi-finals awaits for either one of these teams. Remember, if it's 0-0 at 90 minutes or if it's a draw, it'll go straight into pens. Trossard delivers the corner. Keeper punches very well. Odegaard recovers. Trossard now looking to drop the shoulder, finds Calafiori. Odegaard on the left-hand side, trying to increase the tempo now. Here's Lewis Skelly. Odegaard delivers. It's a decent whip. Header's just wide. It's Gabriel Jesus again. It's an excellent header. Catches hold of it very well, but it's off target. And Crystal Palace get away with this one. It's a great ball in. Having gotten ahead of Chris Richards, he'll be cross with himself that he couldn't get that header on target. Wasn't too wide though. It's the first real opportunity that Arsenal have created in the second half, and it's taken 25 minutes in the second half, so better late than never. But Crystal Palace know that they have the measure of the league leaders here. Gabriel Jesus looking to complete 90 minutes here. What, 12 or 14 months out? So Chris Richards is on the deck here, trying to get a bit of medical assistance. He's put in quite the shift at right centre back. Crystal Palace made a half-time double substitution. Since then, look to try and carry on with the same team. Wharton and Lerma in midfield have been a whole lot better in the second half, especially Adam Wharton. He's been a lot more influential, not just in the interception aspect, but also his ability to find passes between the lines. Glasner might be forced to make a change here as Chris Richards is struggling. Will Hughes is being stripped and ready for action. It's not going to be a like-for-like sub if that sub's going to happen, but looks like Richards is being patched up here. It's a bloody sock by the looks of it. Must be a really sore one that he's caught on the top of his foot. And Hughes is warming up. Might have to be a setup change here for Crystal Palace with 3 in midfield with the back 4. Oliver Glasner does have a problem on his hands, but he's an experienced manager. His stocks have been rising. The trajectory has taken Crystal Palace since taking over from Roy Hodgson. Richards will want to continue, but he does look in severe discomfort here. Well, the stretcher is out. It's not good news for Chris Richards. It's a real shame to end the game here for the American. He's had a fantastic match at right side at centre half. He won't be able to carry on. He won't be able to walk off the pitch either. Real shame for Richards. It's a huge blow for Crystal Palace because now their defensive shape is going to be compromised. They'll have to probably tweak their system now. Oliver Glasner trying to keep that encouragement going for his team here. Having to make his third sub. We saw Klein and Devaney both come on after the halftime break, and now it looks like Will Hughes will be coming on. I think it's a good move here for Crystal Palace. Yes, they do sacrifice a bit in defense, but if they can get Hughes, Adam Wharton and Jefferson Lerma in that midfield area to dictate a lot more, try and take some of the pressure off and try and create something for the team as well. The game is there to be won. The longer this stays 0-0, the nerves will creep up with the home side, that's for sure. The Carabao Cup, the League Cup as it was previously called, has eluded Arsenal for well over 30 years. It looks like the change will be made. Oliver Glasner just signaling why that change is going to be made, because of he felt that there was a stamp on Chris Richards, which might have been deliberate according to him. Yeah, Richards being carried off here. Real shame for the American, who's been one of the centerpieces in the back line for Crystal Palace all season. Really hope that he's okay for the weekend, but they will have to take precautionary measures and hope that the injury isn't as serious. But every time you carry it off the pitch on a gurney like that, it's never a good sign. Oliver Glasner will be absolutely fuming because he knows that his team already stretched thin with the European commitments that they have, and now if they're going to miss their important centre half in Chris Richards for a prolonged period of time, the misery is being compounded here as Jean-Philippe Mateta checks on the well-being of his teammate here as Chris Richards gets carried off here. Really unfortunate for the American. I think it's the way that he just landed after that header that he took. Might have just twisted his ankle, and really hope from Richards' state that it's not season over here. The World Cup's coming as well in his home country. The last thing that he'll want is to miss out on that action, and change has been made by Crystal Palace and Oliver Glasner. It's a centre defender off, and Will Hughes, the midfielder, coming in place. So Palace might be playing with a 4-3-3 now. You've seldom seen Oliver Glasner change his back three. Goes with the 3-4-3, but now possibly forced to go with the 4-3-3. We'll keep an eye on how Crystal Palace do line up with and without the ball. Immediately a chance here for Gabriel Jesus. Should have an opportunity. Crystal Palace fall asleep. Well, Bukayo Saka's forward header found Gabriel Jesus in a very good position here. Palace completely dragged out of position. Out of absolutely nothing. Gabriel Jesus getting a decent effort. It's well over the crossbar. Crystal Palace survive. Well, 15 minutes plus a lot of stoppage time to be added on. From Palace's point of view, they can drag this to pens. It's something that Oliver Glasner will be pleased about. But there is an opportunity, and there is an opportunity really. Try and get the winner here. Jesus wins the header. Wharton has a bit more company in midfield now with Hughes. Wharton does very well. Great composure shown by the Englishman. Here's Mitchell. Hughes. Mark Gahey. They're still in a back three by the looks of it. It's Lerma who's just shifted into the right side at centre back with Will Hughes in midfield. As I mentioned before, Glasner seldom changes his positioning. What a pass that is by Adam Wharton under pressure. And Will Hughes does very well. Certainly a foul on him. Saka commits the foul. Free kick for Crystal Palace. But Jefferson Lerma just shifting to the right side of the centre back. He's going to have a tough task against Leandro Trossard. Here's Wharton. Maxence Lacroix finds Jefferson Lerma. Lacroix again. Norgard heads. Marino heads back. Mateta tries to bring the ball down. Wharton tries to get there first. He does brilliantly. He has Jeremy Pino in the number 10 position for Jean-Philippe Mateta on the slide. And William Saliba does terrifically well to get that last-ditch interception. Corner for Crystal Palace. Much, much better this. Jeremy Pino does the right thing. The ball having a little too much on it. Just shows enough on it. Again, brilliant from Will Hughes, Wharton, and of course Jeremy Pino. All the key players getting involved in the attack. Corner for Palace. Not just making a fist of this contest now, putting Arsenal under real pressure. They score now. It's going to be really hectic for the home side. Left-footed ball in to be delivered here. Wharton delivers. It's a flat delivery. Oh my word, Kepa, who's just happy to see the ball just ricochet away somehow. Wharton reloads. Decent ball in. It's not cleared away. They're asking for a handball. It's still not blown. Ball is really pinballing into the box. Odegaard somehow clears, but ball falls back to Crystal Palace. Great pressure here. Arsenal do very well under pressure. Here's Trossard. Finds Saliba. Clever pass to Martin Odegaard. Trossard continues his run on the right-hand side. Trossard, brilliant little play. Marino, chance. Gabriel Jesus, it's a brilliant save. Benitez, for the first time in the second half, comes up with a massive save to deny Arsenal on the counter-attack. This is a brilliant move. One-touch passing. Trossard drives in. Marino finds Gabriel Jesus. It's the right pass to do. Jesus doesn't have the whip to try and find the far corner. But Benitez at full stretch makes sure that he gets a strong palm on it. It's a corner for Arsenal here. It's a more end-to-end contest here at the Emirates Stadium. Into the 80th minute. Bukayo Saka looking to make his first involvement since coming on as a substitute. Into the business end now. Bukayo Saka ready to deliver. Saka delivers. Great whip on the ball there. It's a missed opportunity and they can't keep the ball out. And it is 1-0 to Arsenal. Bukayo Saka does make the impact off the bench. It's a devilish ball into the box. Palace don't clear. And the ball has been smuggled into the back of the net. Crystal Palace's resistance finally broken. Well, it's devastation on the faces of the Palace players as Arsenal have somehow managed to sneak that ball over the line. What a massive, massive goal. The camera pans on to Maxence Lacroix. Does the last touch come off him here? Saka delivers. From there, they're in so much trouble. And with 80 minutes on the clock, Arsenal finally do manage to get the ball into the back of the net. Again, struggling to see who got the final touch here. Oh, it's a wicked, wicked deflection, really. It's the two Frenchmen in Lacroix and William Saliba who have somehow got that ball in the air. And, with Mateta and Benitez can't keep that away. It's a shake of the head. And what a cheap goal for Crystal Palace to concede. Arsenal get the job done again. A few dodgy goals going in their favour, but they won't mind as they're about 10 minutes plus stoppage time from booking a spot in the Carabao Cup semi-finals in that double-header against Chelsea. And now Crystal Palace will have to throw the kitchen sink at Arsenal. They have to chase this game here. Adam Wharton loses out. Here's Odegaard. Rides the challenge. Brilliant there from Jefferson Lerma on the slide. Well, Arsenal get the reward for perseverance, but the second half was nowhere in their favour. It was a very much dead even game. Actually, Palace were doing a lot more of the attacking work. But Gabriel Jesus pinches the ball on the right-hand side. Arsenal looking to make it 2 in real quick time. Jesus looking to Cruyff turn away from a tight situation here. He'll get the throw in a perfect spot here for Arsenal, really. I think the goal will be given as a Maxence Lacroix own goal. Is that another own goal at the Emirates Stadium to give them a crucial victory? It's just been that kind of a run here for Arsenal where they haven't necessarily played at their best, but they're getting the results done. Norgard to deliver this throw in here. Arsenal looking for the insurance goal. Decent flick on here. Again, the set piece is a decent route. Norgard. Oh, he thought about the shot. Sat up nicely for the Dane. Would have been a hammer blow for Crystal Palace and Oliver Glasner, who had done so well in the second half. That goal would have knocked the stuffing out of them with 7 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. There will be a lot of time added on because of that Chris Richards injury and the substitutions made. Can expect about 7 or 8 minutes of stoppage time. So Crystal Palace cannot really lose hope here. They have to go for it. You can see Uche is being readied. Will be coming on. He scored a terrific goal midweek with the outside of his boot. Might need some of his sharp shooting here if Crystal Palace are to drag this game to pens. Here's Will Hughes. Jefferson Lerma put under pressure there. The two number 8s collide. Lerma is absolutely fired up here. He wants the game to have a quick start. Free kick for Crystal Palace. They might have to take a page out of the Arsenal book and try and put balls into the box, create uncertainty. Yeremy Pino's had a much better second half. Looking to be the chief creator here. Crystal Palace with the free kick. Pino will be looking to just float this towards the far stick. He does exactly that. Arsenal defend that very well. Their physicality really does bail them out on a lot of occasions, but that ball by Yeremy Pino not having the required direction on it. Well, before the Arsenal goal, they very nearly conceded as ball from the corner hits the post. Kepa was rooted to the spot. From the very next attack, huge slice of luck. Gets the ball to the back of the net again. I still don't understand how Benitez doesn't get to it because there's not much pace on it. He's almost like he's wrong-footed. He's got Mateta on his side to clear. None of them get a touch on it, and the ball fortuitously goes into the back of the net for Arsenal, and Bukayo Saka makes the impact off the bench as both Arsenal and Crystal Palace with 5 minutes per stoppage time remaining making subs here as Yeremy Pino comes off for Uche, and Declan Rice looking to show things up in midfield as he comes on. The game on the line here. Well, Gabriel Jesus, it's 85 minutes under his belt. Fantastic in terms of easing back into the thick of things after missing nearly a full year of action. Arteta will be so happy that he's got another attacker at his disposal. Got Kai Havertz as well, who's back from his injury, looking to take part at some point. Doesn't have to rush him really. Wait till the start of the new year before he eases him back. Hughes. as well. Wharton gets bypassed there. Declan Rice immediately gets involved as Lewis Kelly floats that into the channel here. Lerma clears. Throw in for Arsenal. Well, they're nearly there. Here's Trossard. Last touch might have come off Jefferson Lerma. Trossard is convinced that it's a corner. He's not going to get it. Game goes on here. Goal kick for Crystal Palace. I think that was the last roll of the dice there by Oliver Glasner bringing on Ucha. So looks like this team is the one that's going to get it done here. And haven't seen anything of Jean-Philippe Mateta in terms of getting shots away in the second half, despite Palace playing a whole lot better in the second 45. Having to do the thankless task of holding the ball up against Calafiori and William Saliba. Here's Ucha with the flick on header. Saliba is there. He's the one who was making himself a nuisance in the Crystal Palace box. His effort bounced off Maxence Lacroix. The semi-final against Chelsea on the horizon here for Mikel Arteta's men. Looking to compete on all fronts here. Top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League group. Now a spot in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. It's a top season here from Arsenal. We've seen this before. They start well but fade out after March. That cannot happen if they are to get their hands on real silverware this season. Here's Saliba. Ooh, risky pass there. Will Hughes pinches it away. And it's Ucha. Oh, it's a poor pass, but Ucha gets there first. Terrible cross into the box. It's a huge let-off there for Arsenal. Well, Hughes wins the ball. He does the right thing of finding Ucha on the left-hand side. But the decision-making was very poor from the substitute. Massive let-off there for Arsenal. Again, all their own doing then. Losing the ball in a critical position. Well, Kepa Arrizabalaga yet to concede a goal in this competition. Seems like he'll be having yet another clean sheet. For all of Crystal Palace's good work in the second half, they haven't tested Kepa whatsoever. Kepa might pick up a yellow card here. Certainly will, because of the time wasting. Blatant time wasting, really. Ball has been in the Arsenal quadrant for an age here, and Kepa still not ready to kick. He's wasted a minute successfully here, Kepa Arrizabalaga. It's the dark arts, and Arsenal will be looking to do everything in their power to get over the finish line here. Final minute of normal time. Really getting desperate settings here for Crystal Palace. Here's Bukayo Saka, who's cornered into the box, created all that mayhem. Calafiori clears. He's had a very good partnership alongside William Saliba. Hughes gets there first. Expecting about 7 or 8 minutes of stoppage time. Wait and see what the fourth official is going to be waving on here. Clearly that's a foul there by Leandro Trossard. No, referee decides it's just a throw in for Jefferson Lerma. Time ticking away very swiftly here. Palace seems to be running out of it. Oliver Glasner will be happy in terms of the effort his team have put in, but really disappointed in the manner of which a spot in the cup semi-final have just slipped away here. Here's Martin Odegaard in the pocket, feeds it onto the left-hand side. Here's Declan Rice, the substitutes, looking to just kill time here. Jefferson Lerma wins that ball back quite comfortably. Palace looking to start off an attack, and it's not 8 but it's 9 minutes of stoppage time that has been signaled by the fourth official. It's a lot of time for Crystal Palace to muster up at least a couple of attacks. One good chance is all that Palace need. Here's Margehi. Here's Maxence Lacroix. Will be wanting to make amends as he floats the ball into the channel. Well defended there by Ricardo Calafiori with the cushion header. Calmly done by the Arsenal left-hand side. Brilliant there by Miles Lewis-Kelly, the way he turns out of trouble, but he dawdles on the ball but finds his captain. Brilliant, outstanding from Lewis Kelly under pressure. Here's Erdegaard. Finds Bukayo Saka. Good possession this for Arsenal. Just looking to take the sting out of the game. Crystal Palace have left it all on the line in the second half, but ultimately will fall short. They can't get an equalizer here. Decent ball for Timber to chase. Keeper stays in his line. Oh, they've lost the ball for Timber. It's a save by Benitez. That could and should have been 2-0 and game over. Urian Timber not giving up on that play. Somehow managing to get a shot on goal here. And Mark Gahey has to do better. He trips on his own feet there. And Urian Timber could have made it 2-0. Yep, clearly not a foul. Just trips. Trying to do a bit of skill, and Benitez does well to smother that attempt. Corner for Arsenal. Be desperate for that second goal and just kill the game off here. Rice delivers. Great whip on the ball. Oh, it somehow gets away. Palace have, with their set-piece defending, have kept the ball away, but it's been very, very risky stuff. Again, a great delivery there, this time by Declan Rice. Lerma wins the header. Does very well for Klein to just boot that back into play. Jean-Philippe Mateta does get the flick on header. It's a chance on the right-hand side. And Devaney, of all people, found himself a bit of a chance there on that right-hand side, but excellent by Christian Norgard. Recognizing that that space needed to be filled out. And like every good defensive midfielder, hops in and sweeps out. Palace now looking for desperation tactics here. So throw in for the away side. 6 minutes of stoppage time remain. Jean-Philippe Mateta, hands on hips. He's put in an unreal shift. It's been a thankless job for him. Can he get an important flick on as Lerma's ball in? It's headed away by Mikel Merino. Tyreek Mitchell puts that into an area, but it's easily gathered by Kepa. It seems that Kepa and Noni Madueke both will face their former side Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-finals in that double header. Both London sides getting the job done. And the other side of the bracket, Newcastle taking on Manchester City. It's going to be a cracking Final Four in the Carabao Cup. Again, this trophy doesn't have the prestige attached to it, but the journey to win the cup is certainly difficult. It's a needless foul given away by Arsenal. It's William Saliba who's barely put a foot wrong. Has committed a foul, and it's a free kick for Crystal Palace with 5 minutes of stoppage time remaining. On that left-hand side, this is a perfect opportunity to create a good chance. It's Adam Wharton with that trusted left foot. Looking to make the impact here. It's an excellent second half. Can he cap it with an assist? The Arsenal players going to keep their concentrations here. Wharton delivers. It's an away swinger. Headers on target. It's 1-1. How about that? And it's the skipper with the equalizer. Mark Gahey from close range makes it 1-1. And Arsenal players are devastated. They hit the deck. They know they were so close to closing this game out. But Crystal Palace keep their hopes alive. Mark Gahey barely celebrates. But it's a brilliant finish from the skipper. The away swinger by Wharton is perfect. It's a great header. It's right into the path of the skipper. I think it's on his weaker right foot. Keeps it down past Kepa. No chance for the keeper. And a level. Incredible. Well, that's what happens when you do not close the game out. If you leave it open, Premier League sides, they will look to beat down the door. And look at the celebrations there from Oliver Glasner's men. We're going to go to penalties, aren't we? Mikel Arteta would have been already thinking about the game at the weekend. Instead, his midweek assignment is not over, far from it, as Crystal Palace have roared their way back. The never say die attitude on full display, as Ricardo Calafiori is getting some treatment here, and now it's Arsenal now who are on the ropes. It was a brilliant ball in. It's been all about the deliveries. For the opening goal, it was Bukayo Saka's left-footed in-swinger that caused all the problems, and for the Crystal Palace equalizer, this outswinger was excellent from Adam Wharton. I think it was Jefferson Lerma who wins the header. Brilliant from Lerma. I mean, he's a short guy, but the leap was timed to perfection. Climbs all over Ricardo Calafiori, and on the right foot of Margay, between the legs of Kepa Arrizabalaga for the equalizer. Glasner celebrates. Well, he's got the taste of trophies. With a couple of silverware pieces in his trophy cabinet, he'll want to add the Carabao Cup as well. As Martin Odegaard looking dishevelled there, as huge let off there for Crystal Palace, battling till the very end to keep their hopes alive here. And it looks like we might be heading for pens. Well, Arsenal's indifferent form at home continues. Got a bit of fortune, a lot of fortune rather, against Wolves at home. That kind of fortune not falling their way after Maxence Lacroix's own goal in the 80th minute. Seem to have given them or booked their spot in the semi-finals. But Mark Gahey with a crucial late goal, pulling things back here. And Crystal Palace, with their never say die attitude, are a minute away from a draw here at the Emirates Stadium. Saka loses out. Will Hughes with the faded pass. Urian Timber, clever bit of defending there, just leans into Ucha. Calafiori finds Kepa. Arsenal now playing with a desperation now. Second half performance has been lackluster to say the very least. Mark Gahey's clearance is a curious one. It's Bukayo Saka on the right hand side. Looks to go around Gahey. Decent ball in. Declan Rice will have to run to keep that in play. He loses his balance. Here's Christian Norgard. Clever pass. Beautiful turn by Lewis Kelly. And what a block by Jefferson Lerma. Well, Jefferson Lerma in the second half has pulled out some outrageous bit of moves here. This one, he looked, he was beaten. Comes out of absolutely nowhere to make the interception. Well, 9 minutes of stoppage time. We've played that. We're into borrowed time as Arsenal once again have a corner opportunity. This is last ditch. And Arsenal have already scored from a corner. It will be Declan Rice to deliver. Might be the last action of the game here. Rice delivers. Keeper stays at home. Oh my word, they somehow clear it. Saka puts the ball back into the mixer. They do manage to clear that. They keep it alive though. It's Declan Rice. Floats that into the box again. Headers cleared. Bukayo Saka. Oh, that might be a foul right at the edge of the box. It's not given by the official. And now Crystal Palace can break here. Adam Wharton. Oh, he's played that forward. He's asking a lot from Jean-Philippe Mateta. And he nearly found the perfect pass. And now the foul has been given. Mikel Arteta absolutely fuming with that call. He believes that Bukayo Saka should have gotten this free kick here right at the edge of the box. Adam Wharton just having a nibble here. It's outside the box. No problems of that, if it was a pen or not, but it was play continuing. There's a chance on the counter-attack there, and Wharton, if he'd found that pass to Jean-Philippe Mateta, he would have been through on goal. We're well past the 100-minute mark here. This is borrowed time over borrowed time. Mitchell is off for Sosa. Might be with pens in mind here, as Kepa Arrizabalaga looking to just put this back into the danger area. The Palace fans behind are waiting to celebrate for that full-time whistle. They know the job is still not done here. Kepa delivers. It's cleared away by Lacroix. Hughes is there first. Lewis Kelly finds Calafiori, who just pumps that forward. Should be able to clear this one. They keep it alive. Mark Gahey just clears that somewhere. They do manage to keep the ball alive, and Sosa clears. Referee has had a look at his watch. Ucha gets a touch. Miles Lewis Kelly, who's shown some great carrying abilities, gets fouled again. It's another free kick for Arsenal. Really unnecessary here from Crystal Palace. We had 2.5 minutes played over the allocated time. Oliver Glasner absolutely fuming that the full-time whistle hasn't been blown yet. They've kept it short here. Bukayo Saka down the right-hand side. He's up against Sosa on his left foot. Saka delivers. It's a brilliant ball. It's Declan Rice at the fast take. Brilliant save. And it is Benitez who hangs on. What a chance right at the end. And the referee does blow the full-time whistle. It was mayhem in the box. Declan Rice gets the shot away. Benitez spreads himself, makes himself as big as possible. This is a brilliant ball by Bukayo Saka. Declan Rice cannot convert. And we are heading into pens. What a crazy game of football this has been. Two polarizing halves. Arsenal totally dominating the first 45 minutes. But it was 0-0 at half-time. The second half was much better by Crystal Palace. Grew into the game a whole lot better. Arsenal needing a huge slice of luck to get their opening goal. It came off Maxence Lacroix in the 80th minute. And the game looked dead and buried. But Mark Gahey in the 96th minute from close range after the Jefferson Lerma header right into the path showed exquisite composure to bury it past Kepa. It's 1-1 at full time. And we're heading into pens. Well, Kepa has won a couple of penalty shootouts when he was at Chelsea. I do remember the Europa League game against Eintracht Frankfurt, where he made a couple of big saves against Villarreal rather, in the Super Cup under Thomas Tuchel. Those are a couple of performances of Kepa I can remember. Did lose against Liverpool on both occasions in the Thomas Tuchel season, in both the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Both games were lost in pens. Kepa is good at saving pens. We're going to see how Benitez in goal fares, because he was outstanding during the 90 minutes, pulled out some outrageous saves, and right towards the end showed the composure and the positioning needed to keep that Declan Rice effort out. Well, this is a great leveler, and for Arsenal, a nightmare situation here. Having played an excellent 45 minutes, they've left this door open, they've left the game open. Crystal Palace have come fighting and firing back in. Well, didn't Arsenal lose the FA Cup tie last season to Ruben Amorim's Manchester United? It was at this very ground as well. It was on pens. That was in the FA Cup. Again, that was a game that you expected Arsenal to steamroll the opposition. Didn't happen then. It hasn't happened today, and there's an opportunity now from the spot to book a spot in the semi-finals. Well, this is Kepa Arrizabalaga's first big chance to go up in Arsenal folklore here. Joined the club, £5 million signing after an excellent loan at Bournemouth. Chelsea selling yet another player to Arsenal. This time, no Noni Madueke on the pitch. They've got the experienced players in Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka. Of course, they don't have a centre forward now. Expect Leandro Trossard to take one too. So that's 3. Declan Rice will take one, 4. And maybe Mikel Merino takes one, 5. Could be one of the defenders might take one as well. For Crystal Palace, Mateta, Uche, Adam Wharton. I think Mark Gahey will be taking one for sure. Fifth one, maybe Will Hughes. That's my prediction. The order, of course, can't predict that. We'll wait and see as the referee has a word with both the keepers, Benitez and Arrizabalaga. And how have Arsenal got themselves in this position here? This isn't the most important in terms of the hierarchy of silverware, but if they get knocked out here, oof, could have serious ramifications. Well, it's Arsenal who have, I think they've won the toss. And Martin Odegaard deciding that he'll be the first one to take the pen here. It's the least pressurized penalty, taking it first. Look at the Arsenal bench. They're all huddled together, feeling the pressure here. It's up to Martin Odegaard to set the tone. Benitez has been excellent between the sticks. They need a bit of heroics here from the second choice Palace keeper. Can he pull out a miracle here? We're into the pens here, and will be penalties that determine who will meet Chelsea in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. It's Odegaard up against Benitez. It's Martin Odegaard. Sends the keeper the wrong way. Buries the pen. Arsenal have the lead. Cool as you like it from the skipper. Couple of stutter steps, making sure that he tries and throws the keeper off his rhythm. And then found the other corner as Jean-Philippe Mateta looks to equalize here. The number 9 who had very little joy in terms of getting shots away. I'm going to try and equalize. Pressure will be on Crystal Palace here with Arsenal getting the first crack with their pens. Martin Odegaard has put his penalty. Now it's up to the Crystal Palace number 9 here. Jean-Philippe Mateta rolls it down the other way, sending the keeper the wrong way. And Palace are level. Cool as you like it by the French number 9. Brilliant there from Jean-Philippe Mateta. 1-1 here. This is a really exciting end to what was a okay 90 minutes. Declan Rice now. Arsenal using all their experience up front here with their penalty takers. Martin Odegaard made no mistake. Now Declan Rice with that trusted right foot. Look to bury this past Benitez. It's Rice against Benitez. Big moment in the match. In the penalty shootout here. Declan Rice! Straight down the middle. Hammers that pen. No chance for the goalkeeper. Arsenal 2-1 up. Superb pen there from the Englishman. Odegaard and Rice getting the job done. And it's Devaney who's going to be taking this for Crystal Palace here. Doesn't look a day over 18 years old here, Devaney. Youthful exuberance on his face. Came on in the second half. Really played with a lot more confidence. Allowed his team to have a much better second half performance. Now he's under pressure here. Try and level things up here. It's Devaney up against Kepa Arrizabalaga. It's the left foot of Devaney. Beautiful pen. Cool as you like it. Strides forward. Smashes that pen, sending Kepa the wrong way. And we're level again at 2-2. Pressure back on Arsenal. Well, Arsenal were feeling the pressure throughout the game, and this man changed it with this corner. Bukayo Saka, who has missed a couple of high-profile pens in his career. Now looking like he's got the laser-like focus here. Number 7 on his back. Looking to propel Arsenal into the semi-finals here. Arteta watches along with furrowed brows. It's Bukayo Saka up against Benitez. It's Saka! 3-2 to Arsenal. Sends the keeper the wrong way. Finds the side corner. Perfect pen again. We've seen 5 brilliant pens from both sets of players. Keeper getting nowhere near the pens here as Will Hughes The experienced campaigner looking to level things up again for Crystal Palace. Faultless pen so far. Something's got to give. Well, Hughes came on for Chris Richards as the American centre-half could not carry on with the injury. It's Hughes up against Kepa here to make it 3-3. Hughes, it's a magnificent pen. Sending the keeper the wrong way again. We're level at 3-all. Oliver Glasner will be so pleased with the way his players have responded to the pressure. That's Leandro Trossard now. Another second half substitute who's had an outstanding goal return. Looking to give Arsenal the lead again. Benitez hasn't guessed right even once in the 3 pens. Neither has Kepa. Just shows you how well the penalties have been struck here so far. 6 penalties taken, 6 scored. Reaching sudden death territory here. No margin for error. Trossard against Benitez. Focused breath here from Leandro Trossard. Slow run up. It's Leandro Trossard. He curls that into the corner. Brilliant pen. Top corner stuff there from Leandro Trossard. Arsenal have been perfect from the spot. 4 out of 4. Pressure back onto Crystal Palace now. It's Sosa who came on right towards the end, specifically for this moment, to level things up here at 4-all. Oliver Glasner now feeling the heat. The left foot of Sosa. Has he warmed up enough? It's very difficult to just come onto the pitch and take a pen. It's Sosa against Kepa. Glasner watches along. Sosa, beautiful pen again. Bottom corner, sends Kepa the wrong way. 8 out of 8 pens have been slotted seamlessly from both sets of players as we're into sudden death territory now. It is Mikel Merino. I think I've gotten all 5 Arsenal penalty takers right. I wouldn't have guessed the order, but these were the 5 that I expected to take. These are the 5 that are taking it here. We're into sudden death now. You cannot miss at this stage. Mikel Merino takes a huge deep breath here. Merino from the spot. Beautiful. Hop, skip and slots it into the corner. Arsenal have been perfect from the spot. 5 out of 5. And now Crystal Palace have to score. I'm very surprised Adam Wharton hasn't stepped up to the plate here. And it's Jefferson Lerma who's had an excellent game. He got the assist for the late equalizer. Now striding off to take the 10th penalty, and 9 of them have been converted with ease. It's pressure. It's a lot of pressure on the Colombian. He's an experienced campaigner, but he cannot miss. Deep breath there from Oliver Glasner. Closes his eyes in prayer as well. It's Lerma up against Kepa. Jefferson Lerma nerveless from the spot. And all 10 pens have been converted. We're really into sudden death territory now. 5-all in the penalty shootout. Incredible penalty shootout here. It's excellent there from Jefferson Lerma. So cool. The weight, the expectations all on his shoulders. Send the keeper the wrong way and slotted that into sudden death territory here. It is Ricardo Calafiori on his left foot to make it 6-5 for the Gunners. It's Calafiori, drills it to the bottom corner. Once again sending the keeper the wrong way. The keepers have not guessed right once in the 11 pens that have been taken so far. Calafiori drilling that penalty, and once again Crystal Palace in a cannot miss situation. Well, I asked the question as to why Adam Wharton didn't take the first 5 pens. He will be stepping up now. Cannot hide anymore. Have to go out there, show the confidence as that central midfielder. Take the responsibility on your shoulders. The Crystal Palace fans cannot watch. It's Wharton against Kepa here. Wharton has to score to keep their hopes alive. Adam Wharton, cool as you like it. Wow. Nonchalant from the number 20. And it's 6-all in the penalty shootout. Kepa guesses the wrong way again. Well, this penalty shootout is going the distance by the looks of it, as Urian Timber, the right back this time, stepping up to the plate. Well, the Arsenal fans are now starting to realize that there's real jeopardy involved here. Crystal Palace have not just matched them in the 90 minutes, but in the penalty shootout, 6-6. Mikel Arteta's heart must be beating out of his chest here. Really is crucial time now, as Urian Timber, brilliant pen again. Wow. Keeper guesses the right way, but it's into the top corner. Nerveless again from Urian Timber. Another magnificent pen. It's 7-6 to Arsenal. There's yet another substitute. Ucha coming on. Couldn't make the impact in open play and in the second half. But it's up to him. Try and bury this from the spot to keep their team's hopes alive. Glasner cannot watch. It's Uche up against Kepa. Here's Uche. Beautiful. Nerveless. It's been the common theme. No pressure whatsoever from the spot kicks. Uche sending Kepa the wrong way. Right into the corner. Excellent pen. It's 7-7. And it's now time for the defenders to step up here. William Saliba, whose effort deflected off Maxence Lacroix for the opener. They thought that was going to be the winner, but they were pulled back with that Mark Gahey goal. And now we are 7-7 into the 15th pen in this crazy penalty shootout here. Saliba, beautiful. Almost feel like every pen is going to fit in the back of the net. It's easy stuff there from the centre half. Again, so calm, so composed. Kepa has had 7 opportunities. He hasn't guessed right once. As Maxence Lacroix now steps up here. The Palace fans can barely watch. This has reached way past critical mass here. We're into the 16th pen. 8-7 for Arsenal. Saliba scored. Maxence Lacroix has to score. It's Lacroix! Kepa saves! And Arsenal advance. A nightmare day for Maxence Lacroix. Scored the own goal, misses the pen as Arsenal advance to the Carabao Cup semi-finals, where Chelsea await in that massive double-header. It's heartbreak for Oliver Glasner and Crystal Palace, as Maxence Lacroix has an evening to forget. Really unfortunate in the manner in which the game ends, but Arsenal hold their nerve till the very end. They were faultless from the spot, scoring from every penalty, but Maxence Lacroix, in the 8th time of asking, meant that Kepa Arrizabalaga is an Arsenal hero for the first time since joining the Gunners in the summer. Full time here at the Emirates Stadium. It was 1-1 after 90 minutes, and Arsenal win 8-7 on pens. And Chelsea await in the semi-finals. It's Arsenal versus Chelsea. It is Manchester City versus Newcastle United to wrap up the final 4 of the Carabao Cup in the 2025-2026 season. All smiles for the Arsenal fans as Kepa keeps his nerve, guesses the right way, saves Lacroix's penalty, as Oliver Glasner's men will have to lick their wounds here and pick themselves up for the weekend assignment. Full time here